Korean or Chinese or Vietnamese or some other country, we have a lot of vegetarian, chewing a lot of vegetables. So we like more carb, so heavy grinding. Compared to the westernized, the America or European, they're just vertical inside cutting. So they don't have much grinding function. And then also the oil is a bucket container. So soft bone, and then also the lot of numerary sinus, and then also bucket container. So in order to place the right size of the implant, sometimes you need not just adding the bone into the sinus, but you need to add to iron on the ribs. So a lot of time I go to the different office when they do the treatment plan, they always say, okay, sinus plan. Okay, so I put the bone in, no problem. Then how are we going to put the implant? Do I put here or I put here? So you need the right volume of the alveolar ridge. That's what they put on the implant stage, right? So who cares how much sinus bone you put it in? Because the main reason is we need the right position with the right implant size. So that's the treatment plan of the maxillary sinus. Then make them a big thing. So also, Ray Nish textbook, he talks about D1 to D4. So, you know, this is a housekeeping unit. I mean, you can study the textbook. I'm not going to go over all this. I'm more clinical outfield. Just I do daily practice. I'm not just reading in the chair. I'm just doing more case by case. So D3 or D4 in the posterior maxilla most time. And also, sinus has a very anatomical different situation, not like a mandible. Mandible is what? We have nerve, alveolar nerve. But maxilla doesn't have it, but then we have to worry about usually we lost the tooth and we gain the volume about 4.5 to 35 cc, which is about, if you're adding the bone, about 4.0 cc bottle of bone. That's why you have to replace it. And then also there's a membrane there. So is the membrane is difficult, different, important? Yes. Because that's kind of like a barrier for our sinus cavity. So whenever it comes, we inhale air with the bad foreign bodies coming and try to get rid of the drain system to this cilia, pushing out to the foreign body or any the infection, pushing out to the nose. That's why you got a sinus allergy season. You got nose stopping and then blow nose all the time. And then there is a septa there. Sometimes it's good to secure your structure. The problem is when you do the sinus elevation, try to put bone gap, that's a kind of sometimes challenging to overcome. So I have a couple of cases to how to deal with that. And then, you have a maxillary sinus, major, orbital, and then frontal sinus. So we got a lot of space because our brain head has to be light, so we can walk straight and moving around. And then also, when you're breathing in and out, we need some kind of function to walk in and here. Also, when I'm speaking, I got a lot of different voice of sound with the regular. So those things are I don't care about it, but I care about here. Drain in middle nose. So whenever we do something here, or odontogenic cyst or infection, everything goes here and then something happens, then if it has a drain blocked, everything is going to be garbage here, right? Like a sewage. So you gotta get chronic sinus infection. So we don't want that happen. So usually, ENT guy, all the time, something they take it out. But we are as a dentist, now we have to add in something into the sinus to secure our implant. So that's the thing is different as we deal with. So when we have a tooth, and then we lost a tooth, so we got the pneumatitis, we call it. It gained the sinus space. There's not many studies that how much we gain or lose. Sometimes if you gain more, that means you change your sinus pressure and everything. Probably not, but sometimes our bodies feel something with into the sinus. That's why we have to sometimes that pathology removed, or sometimes we just leave it alone. So let's talk about the treatment plan on the maxillary posterior. The thing is, we have some other case say, okay, I don't need to do sinus because there is a 6 millimeter height. I can do the short and wide implant. That works sometimes. Well, not worried. So they put the huge implant. This is my implant. So they published in early, 20 years ago. And how about multiple standard implant with sinus augmentation? We do all the time. So pegasio, nasal, tilted, oral 4, oral 6, zygomatic, and those things. Some other criteria you don't need to worry about it, and you never had it. So this is the same case on the textbook you saw it. The patient comes from New York City. She's an older lady. When I see her, she's like this. So maybe initially has a bone, but remember that 2 millimeter rule. You have to be 2 millimeter bone around the implant. You need a 2 millimeter soft tissue around the bone, around the crown of the implant connection. So everything is kind of sealed, protection, otherwise something happens. In this case, bone goes first, and then soft tissue goes first, and then what happens? The implant is come out in your hand. So what I have to do is simply, I want to try to gain something that we lost. What is lost? Soft tissue, right? So I do the soft tissue graft first. It's called just simple free gingival graft, right? It's not the free what we get from the patient today. After soft tissue gain, then what? I have to do sinus augmentation. This is called the Lisa technique. I call the little remodel to hole instead of make a big window. And then just pack some of the material I'm going to go over today. And then this is my recipe. I call twilight rich fibrin or concentrated prospectus. So keep in mind today CDF, okay? And then another thing is sticky bone. Sticky bone is we have a history, so I'm going to go over into that. I'm going to add allogenic and xenograft, just 50-50, whatever the percentage is your own choice. And then I press implant same time with sinus elevation. And then this is the final, and then we finish the crown. So we gain the soft tissue, and then we gain the implant to the bone, and then we just finally finish. So this is the standard implant, I like it. If a patient has enough bony height, some area is maybe need some horizontal bone graft, but I can do the sinus and implant. Usually top has a 6 to 8 implant, maybe some 10. And then if I don't do the immediate loading, I have to some mini implant, and then just temporize, I secure them, because I don't like the denture on the implant, because that denture pressure ruins the bone graft around the implant and also soft tissue. So I don't like that. That's why we come up with oral 4, oral 6. Oral 4, oral 6, the concept is not just put 6 implant or 4. That means immediate implant placement, the prosthetic placement with loading. That's what the real situation. And this is a subperiosteal implant. You can do on the maxilla or mandible, because sometimes they don't want to do sinus graft. They don't want to do the lower GBR, vertical GBR, because the nerve is so close. So they put the kind of mesh type, kind of put it onto the ridge. The thing is, mandible works okay. Maxilla is always failed because it's a high force of the moving, bone is soft. So once you add mobility, then start failing, and then it's digestion. So I have a couple of cases that have to remove this, but so nobody, this is history of the implantology. And how about the, oral 4 with the tilted implant? in early days, in Palomaro, say people don't have money, so that's why it comes with this. So instead of go sinus from here to nasal, and then nasal to the anterior, and so you have some AP distance to more gain the arch width, and then you can try on. But the thing is, mandible, I have a lot of oral 4 cases, okay. Maxilla, always, one fail is oral 3 is already failed, right? So, because it's unbalanced, and then the bone is not strong enough. So, maxilla, if you crazy about oral 6, oral 4, then put the 6 in there. So, but otherwise, you do the sinus augmentation. It takes a little more time, maybe 6 to 8 months. Sometimes with good biologic enhanced, maybe 4 months possible. And then, finally, we talked about another one. So this is like bar type of oral 4. It's always happening like this. Maybe implant stable, but always a soft tissue problem because denture pushing in and not enough to support the bone. So always a problem. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is zygoma implant. This is zygomatic bone right there. And this is a nasal bone, and then this is a pterygoid bone. This is a very, very fine technique, but the bone is very dense bone. So this case is like people don't have not enough bone to really have to put the implant on anterior maxilla, and then no bone on the sinus. And that time we could do, instead of the tilted implant, we do the zygoma implant. In US right now, last 5 years is very popular somehow. And now we get it, because all the zygomatic implant is coming from the palatal. So prosthetic was pain in the butt, like almost half of the mouth covered by the denture. Now new Jaga implant, Apprecio, in Barcelona, Spain. The Jaga is put on put it on just right here, the ridge. So everything is connected by the zygoma bone. It's strong bone and about 50 to 60 millimeter implant, but sometimes if you have heavy corruption, it's very dangerous. So there's a limitation. So my criteria on sinus posterior, there is a 3 different bone density. The crescent is very cortical, the middle is cancellous, and the interior cortical. So I like every time I invade, if you 9 millimeter the bone height, I put 10 millimeter just pump it up. That if you charge or if you want to charge the sinus width or not, that's your choice. But another thing is, whenever the posterior was tooth was taken out, there is not many cortical bone there, so it's not that easy for them. And Ray Nish, he posterior teaching us for posterior maxilla. If you give 12, you can do immediate, 10 immediate, 5, 10, maybe just stage or grafted, and then 5 always the lateral approach to the stage. Delay. But these days, I put a lot of 99% immediate place implant with sinus augmentation because the implant design is good, implant surface is good, very fast osteointegration, and all the biological material is better. So this is old days of textbook, and some group they can do this way is much safer. So know your limit and just follow the principle. That's what I'm saying. Because sometimes, like today, maybe you don't know what you don't know. Then you know what you don't know. And then later you know what you know. So this is all this is the treatment, right? So, and then if you become a master and then say, you don't know what the heck you're doing, but you're just doing it perfectly. So, but anyway, so there is a lot of textbook about the classification. My bottom line is this. If I place implant, that implant is stable, or that implant falls into the sides, right? That's you make a decision. As long as the implant can stay whole, and then you can do always the second surgery with the stage approach. Because sinus has a cavity, if you don't put a lot of bone back, you need something to tenting screw, like an implant or another tenting. Space maintained like a low membrane. That's why I like to put implant if I do sinus augmentation at the same time. Another classification is, this one to this one to that one to that one. So for me, is anything crest or stabilized, then I can place implant without sinus augmentation. So there's another one is classification width and height radial bone touch relationship. This is I'm talking about. A lot of people talking about just sinus, but you have to think about the whole sinus structure. In this case, some patient you see, patient lost a tooth for a long time, never pneumotized sinus. So this case is easy. You just place regular implant position. Right? Very simple with FP1, meaning a fixed prosthetic one. How about this case? We're losing some bone, but we're not losing in the crestal area. So you just simply do the sinus augmentation. So this is another FP1. How about this one? So we're losing the crestal, but we're losing the sinus. So what are you going to do? Well, you do the sinus first, and then your choice. You make a low crown with the pink porcelain. So we call FP2 or FP3, right? Wrong tooth. But is there a contraindication? No. If you split them together, the force function is fine. So this is still successful. Make sure that you have a good soft tissue. Patient can clean. That's important. So now, surgeon's job is done. This is your prosthetic, the prosthetist job, to make the right prosthetic delivery crown. Otherwise, that implant may fail, right? So we have both surgeons and plus the general dentist have to co-work together. Otherwise, that was a team is failed. Well, some fancy case, we do the vertical GBR. We are in W Cup, another meeting in here, and we talked about like vertical augmentation with some tension, Santa screw and everything. The NTA has those things. So if you want to try a more challenging case, you can do that. So you can do the ideal reconstruction. We call that reconstruction surgery. And this one doesn't recover for the original patient design. So let's look at this case, very simple. Patient comes in, and pneumatized sinus, and the anterior is very thin. This tooth is variable. And this is mobility 2, and this is maybe straight. So all the root canal is failed. So as a sinus had to do, and we got the problem here. So what I did is extraction, and there is no buffer plate, so I cannot put the implant. I could, but, and then this one probably like a little bit try in the future, maybe not good, but I only do the tumor plan with follow. So I make a small window, right? Typical, either whatever you call it. So usually the piezo, I'm going to lecture after this. Piezo electric surgery I'm using a lot. So that has very defined osteotomy. So then I lift everything is clean. I put some CDI and then osteotomy and put the immediate replacement. And then this part I've done, but I want to do the GBI. So I'm using the sticky bone to the hard tissue part, and then I'm using for soft tissue from, this is palatal. So it's called the VIP flap, vascular interpositional palatal flap. So you can cover also because maybe not enough soft tissue here, so I do connective tissue graft at the same time. So, and then I do this case is membrane, CGF, and then connective tissue. So a lot of layers cover. So this is the multi-layer. So when I have a second surgery, and I'm going to cut this way so I get pain of some hairline tissue. So from the post-op CT, I do sinus done, and then here we do some other CT things. So a lot of times you do that. So when you do the treatment plan on the sinus, you do extraction, and then the socket, grafting, and then later I do the sinus lifting, right? That's a typical choice. Or extraction, immediate sinus lifting and implant. Or extraction, immediate sinus lifting and then implant the body right? So let's look at the 3D combing. In the US, if you do implant without combing 3D CT, if anything goes wrong, that's when you get sued. You lose it. So CT is the required, not just optional. So already you're looking at the CT for this sinus. What are you going to look at? Some pathology and the sectional view, how much bone I have to put in, how much I can lift it. So that's what you need all the information. So when you pump the panoramic view, you cannot much tell about what's going on here. But when you do a sectional view, you know that exactly, okay, how much I have a residual bone, how much the forehead, there is any vital sign, how much the vertical bone, or buccal bone. So I don't like this. Sometimes we put something like a cotton roll, and then you can define the oral mucosa impact. But a lot of times I teach them, but they never do that. You know, when you take a CT, you put the cotton roll, and then you will see where the soft tissue is the best to do. So that's another technique, and I'm just telling you guys that they, little tiny when you do the practice. So that small little things actually make a big difference. So I call it is a imagination and no imagination. So that's two things. The common sense. Which one you want to put immediate implant after extraction? Raise your hand. No imagination, put in implant same time. Or imagination, put the same time. So I know that everybody, you guys know about not raise hand. Of course, the answer is this one, you want to put implant same time. Right? Because we have a bone to hold. I mean, what I'm saying, the condition is you need the very atraumatic extraction. Right? If you muscle out and pulling everything out and break this, well, then you have to do something except immediate implant placement. So, how about this case? No matter how you do well, there is a sinus corporation. Depends on either you have a big communication with the sinus, or you might have lucky that still sinus membrane there, and just the socket is formed. So, in this case, no imagination case, from the panoramic, it's very hard to do it. But when you clinically extraction, I always cut this root and then sectionally take it out. So none of them is damaged around the socket. So I have a very nice bone. This is septum. So I'm using, this is a lisa drill. You cut in the side, but there's no end cutting. So if I touch the membrane, I'm fine. So I do measure that and just straight drill. And so I got 4 holes now, 1, 2, 3. But here's the membrane. So this is my another kit. It's called umbrella. So you just check it and make sure that I have an intake. And then I put a CGF, just pack it in. And then you don't need to put the bone. But in US, I always put something to show in the X-ray, because sometimes if you don't just see them for long, X-ray doesn't show anything. Sometimes the patient we just charge him for without doing anything. So, but anyway, so as you see, we can press implant at the same time, the socket grafting, and then I'm using some of the CGF press down and then just cover this bone material. And with the healing abutment and suture in one stage. separately. So this is very immediate procedure. You do a lot of steps, but very cleanly you can finish. No deep membrane, no fancy technique, just no primary course. So everything is very, very simplified. That's how what I want to take. How about this case? I extract it, and maybe some population will still have a membranitis. So this is, I'm already, after extraction, my sinus lifting is 50% is done. So this is really nice there. What I do, I just put CDF. In olden days, if you have this particular bone, bottle bone, you mix with lidocaine or any saline, pack it in. That's dangerous because that graft material goes into some air. But this CDF, there's nothing to go with. It's all blocked here. And then I add in some other bone, sticky one, so still very, very sticky. Like almost the molding bone. Then I just cover another CDF to put it in. And the final exhale like this. So I have a very sinus augmentation already. So after 4 to 6 months, I'm just going in with nice implant. So this is a very easy way to do. Anybody can do it. So you don't need to be fancy. I have to do immediate or I have to do delay. This is your choice, but that comes from the treatment plan. So I always teaching I have some, the side cutting different way of the sinus technique. I have all the different tools. I try everything, but I still teaching when we have a life surgery program. I teach the lateral window first because if you're doing more sinus every day, you will have some kind of complication. I'm going to go over all the complications later. If that happens, you need to open the window to see, right? Otherwise, you have to reach out to your good friend who can do all the work. It's fine, but once you get the sinus infection, then more really difficult because it close to on the eyes and right on the face with the brain. So some cases you have to be very aggressively treated. So typical we saw this in brain and then suddenly you're losing this tooth, then what? You do the bleach, and then finally it's there, then you have no choice. No more fixed to partial bleach, so you have to do something to engage it. So I have one case like this, oral 6. So this patient is severe maxilla, severe atrophic melanoma. This patient is almost, if you press on the jaw something, you're going to fracture that. This is a 78 years old, white female, very fragile. But she went through already. So this case is oral 4, like you want to say, zygoma or something. So initially, I want to go over some of the treatment like, okay, we don't have any anterior bone. We don't have any posterior sinus, but possibly you have some gyroma bone. And then terrible. So typically this is a 1-6 with 2 gyroma and then 1 terrible. Lower you can 4, but this case was a 3 but in this patient, really hard. I don't know, maybe it's not enough gyroma either. So sometimes it's not all the case, but if you want to do this stage with gyroma on the front right here, instead of going to the side. So we have a lot of treatment, but the patient don't want to do that, except the gyroma and then treatment because it's like this, right? Very thin. Anterior, also thin, so I don't really have to do anything about it. So, and another worst thing when the patient has already gone for oral 4. So that oral 4 will fail, right? So that oral 4 will fail. So you're losing more bone. One can survive, but this is not enough holding. And the sinus will totally that patient was still doesn't want to wear attention. She wanted to do something fixed. So I had to say, okay, it takes 2 years, maybe 1.5 years. Well, we can do the sinus augmentation, and patient accepted, so we carry maybe 2 side implant, possibly, and then we manage to some kind of removable, not removable, but it's a hybrid case. So that's a very rare case, and the implant was a success. And so a lot of time, my take-home message is don't do the rotate. If you lead into the rotator on the maxilla, you fall into your prosthetic and eventually long-term failure. So, simple type, with the precision of tension, this is kind of fixed type of removal. You accept bar support, automatic. So, I'm not teaching here for the prosthetic, but that's my concept for when I after surgery with the general. So let's talk about the sinus. I'm going to talk about the lateral window first, and then we talk about the crest first. So lateral and crest are always a debate. Which one is better? Okay. The surgeon guys would like to have everything open and just cut wide and then look at it. It's more easy, right? We can do fast. Crest is like the end of same thing, but which one is better? No. Nothing better. Every time, depends on the situation, you decide. You're the doctor. Patient doesn't know. That's all your achievement. So my take-home message is this. When you do some procedure, you go home and you can sleep better. Right? If you worry about you done procedure and you go home and you can't sleep, that means you're not good. So be a good side of the clinician if you want to. So here's the surgery. This is my key element. If you do the sinus surgery, I always recommend. So here's the surgery since almost 30 years in the market. I used to lecture for the Pedro. So Pedro is kind of numeric power. 1 second, 30,000 vibrations. So in our eyes, it looks like the moving, cutting, but not vibration. So what happens is getting soft tissue, like cutting the nerve or anything, cutting. So a lot of piezoelectric surgery in the beginning was they do the brain surgery. Because when you scalp, you have very mild stroke. So they're using up here. Now we're using for the sinus. And then another thing is CTF, the brain rich biting. So this one is just the simple. You can buy $10 for 3,000, 5,000. All the machine has a different function, different way to do it. But for my humble opinion, it's better than nothing, right? Some machine has more high concentrate, some machine is less concentration. So this is all the cooking recipe, but I'm going to go over the defined information. And CT scan. In my early days, I depended on the PA and the panoramic. But now we can see all the different aspects with the simulation with the 3D. I know that a lot of guys are digital dentistry and all the imaging dentistry and all the surgical guide and everything. So I'm kind of old-fashioned, so I don't do much digital and I don't impart the case, but these days all the eyes and everything. So that's in the future field. I think it's not yet, but still. For me, sinuses need always the guide surgery after sinus. So for my field, it's still okay. So let's look at this. Look at the panoramic. Something not really here, not clear, but sinus relatively okay. So I look at the CT. Looks like there is some artery there. This is. When you look at closely, this is the intra-osseous artery. It's already go to the lateral wall. So when you cut this, there's a lot of bleeding, right? From the posterior the division of the great palatal artery. But when I open it, maybe some guy extraction or some do something, they will clean up. So the bone lateral wall was not formed yet. So even though the CT looks at the artery, but it was not artery, so just the perforation. Small communication on the lateral window. So I open the lateral window. I carefully do that. I didn't perforate it. It was existing. So what I do, I carefully elevate the membrane. So even the small hole, I like to have it here too during the procedure. But I am able to lift it because you see that there's a septum. You see that on the panoramic? There's the side lateral view. Coming here, septum, and then coming here, septum. The one down there. But that's out, block my procedure? No. You can continuously lifting the septum and then you do finish the procedure. And then I put some sticky one and then replace the one. Some doctor, when I go, this case I put implant, but some doctor, they want to place implant. So then I just add in the bone. So in this case, the sticky one is kind of making it different. So I put more sticky one. And I do that situation. So most time I place implant. This is immediately you can do it. So another level is the design of the open window. Because you come here, okay, I don't want to do the lateral, I don't just want to press it, that's fine. But if you do the lateral for in the future, you have to do always map. So this is if you put more like this is the anterior wall and posterior wall, and this is the lateral wall, and then this is the medial wall, right? So I'm going to keep talking about the wall, because this is 5 wall, right? Inferior wall, and then all this wall. So sinus is very good, 5 wall is only different. So that's why you can do bone augmentation very successful compared to the mandible. Mandible has a lot of time, 2 wall defect, 3 wall defect, anterior is very hard. But the posterior maxilla is easy. So in early lateral window technique, Him Tatum and Bill Bowen in UCLA, they concept to come with put the bone in the sinus to place secure the implant. And then there is a 2 steps. 1 step, like I do, implant with the same time sinus, while just doing no implant with sinus augmentation. So incident design, I always want to do the liberalized incision, not the middle crest. Because your implant position is here, so if you cut in here, then you have to select parallel. So I always cut it, so you gain more this keratine tissue on the buckle, right? So instead of cutting the right here. And then, a lot of people misunderstand the hockey stick design incision. Why we call hockey stick? Because it's like a hockey stick, right? J or J. What happens is if you go straight line, what happens? You ruin the papilla, and then also not many keratine tissue to suture. So instead of this angle you are more easy to suture. So if you have a large window, I will do 1 to 2 tooths ahead like this. But in this case, I don't want to do too much anterior. Patient smile and everything. So, and this one is relatively small hole. This is a Lisa technique that I can talk about later. So that's J. And then obviously the right angle, you don't want to be too below or too high. Because if you cut too high window, your elevation to the floor is too far. That makes a mistake to tear the membrane. So you have to do right design of the map. So we just had a surgical session. I just mentioned about the other space. We did 11 attendee. One of the doctor from the Hanoi. So he did a great job. So he was one of the doctors. And then he was there. And then so this guy sent me after we trained. And then he said, Doc. So this guy from Australia. And he's showing the picture of later that his old picture and said, right, he did the J design, he just did it straight. So a lot of time you guys are simply mistake. So this is not that wrong, but still you have a very poor and too many suture and too. So even though you do the surgery well, when you poor suture the poor technique and more nucleotide and suture opening, then you get a more post-op infection. So you got bad result, even not suture there either. So you learn from the little by little. So we did all this kind of occupation. Hopefully all the patients was actually, we did tons of work for the whole day. But the thing is, this happening now, you have to keep training, and you got eye surgery, and then, even though you learn, you come home, and then you keep practicing, know what your show is. So that's kind of dentistry. Dentistry is not just reading a book and you have to be hands-on, left hand. So incident eye of the things like this. So when you do that, you do incident. So maybe when you window, you might minimum 10 to more incident. And then posterior. So that's if it is, assume that that's a window, my window. So you have a far enough. If you window over here, then I have to go this way. And then tuberosity area, you have a little deep, like penetrate, but you don't want to go all the way because this is very hard to suture it. So you just some kind of, at the window, you have to push it the same thing. So this flap, just enough to open my space, I can control it. So that's the incident eye. And then superior upper anterior, distal inferior, this is common sense. You don't want to cut here, you don't want to cut here, this is inferior line, because it's too hard to go down here. So those are typical things. So I usually say 2 to 5 millimeter from the sinus floor, and then 10 to 15 about wide. If you make window a little bigger because you want to see everything. Otherwise, it's kind of like a pressure approach with a little bit disappointing. Those are a little less invasive. So this guy's done it, and I draw the map, but then sometimes this bone is very too much, and we got a minor perforation, and then this was a right there slope, and then patient was we put the map too low, so cutting here is bone, so we have to move up. You see that? So map is very, very important. Sometimes you're struggling so much. And then there's a technique to, the tactile sense. You have to cut it with the angle to the depth, and then you keep cutting. See how thick the lateral bone. So